So, the first characteristic or aspect that should be there in a project manager is he or she has to be a visionary. But when I say visionary, I don't mean a dreamer. It has to be somebody who has their feet on the ground, because you have to know what works and what doesn't work. And that also helps you to keep the team motivated, so that they don't feel that, oh, we have hit the rock bottom and they get demotivated. So how quickly you can turn that into a learning lesson for the team will really help your team to get back to their feet again. But you have to see the milestones, you have to see the goalpost. So you need to have that distant vision. Budget management, writing skills, and I think it primarily is to be a good people person. And from my personal experience, it's being able to plan well in advance for all kinds of resources, be it financial resources, human resources, etc., etc. And unless you have the ability to lead the project, to lead the team, you cannot ever deliver the results that is expected. Time management, after all. And also, troubleshooting on the way if something goes wrong. You work with a team of people on a project, and you want those team to come to you if there are problems and if there are issues, so that you can help problem solve with them. I also think you need to be creative and innovative, because projects never work out how you want. And by listening, it's really to apply all the senses, because some people are talking. You pretend to listen, but you do not listen or hear the small prints of what they are saying or even writing, because out of those, you will pick up those issues that other people might not pick up. You will pick up that this person is just here, but deep down is either suffering or is having a problem that he or she is not comfortable in sharing. So that is why I say listening, and really having to apply another sense to what you are listening or to what people are telling you. Managers, of course, they define management as getting results through people. So you'll realize that as a project manager there are power relationships, and as somebody who is in charge of a project, you will have to influence others so that you get the results you need. And the sum of those influences will depend on you influencing people that you do not have direct authority over. Ministry of Health, for example, the donor. But as a project manager, that leadership skill is very important. And so having that creativity and innovation, you can come up with great ideas on how to keep the project moving forward and on time. You cannot be governed by your own self-interest, because if you do so, then you can never prioritize your project's interests. So these, I feel, are the kind of individual characteristics that a project manager should have. Second thing, you need to have empathy, as like when you are being a good communicator and having good interpersonal skills, being a person who has empathy is really an important part of the individual attribute that a project manager should be having. The third characteristic that I have found to be very important is to be a learner, not in terms of just trying to learn new things, but also to learn from your failures. Because you may not always succeed, and you always end up having some roadblocks as you go along managing a project. The ability to understand what the project is and approach it systematically in terms of analytical skills. Ability to analyze information and to understand what is the project, what do I need to do, and what resources do need. So basically, full planning and management skills. So, for a project manager, it is so very critical that how do you shift to that challenge, to a learning opportunity, which is not just a learning opportunity for yourself, but for the team. And lastly, I feel that as a team leader,